The next person I'm going to bring up on screen is a really close friend of mine. He's one of my favorite people. His name is Don Zerby, and um, we would have long conversations about accounting and financial stuff, and neither one of us could ever answer. Looking online for it and asking the wrong people, and we just struggled for a number of years. We had the question, but we didn't know who had the answers. And so I introduced Don to Christine, and they started working together. I want to just do Don's bio. Don Zerby is a lifelong learner and has been in business for over 40 years. His business is Ecolawn in East Lake, Ohio. Don leads a team of 13 A players. You're not working for Don if you're not an A player. Don is a team captain at the National Association of the Landscape Professional Renewal and Remembrance Program at the Arlington National Cemetery, which is a great program. People from guys in the green industry from all over the country come together and do that program in July. Upgrading and improving Arlington Cemetery for our veterans. Don also has two English bulldogs, Mac and Macy. I love Don's company's jingle or logo or motto. It is a lawn. Don's company promises you a lawn so soft you'll want to wiggle your toes in it. And he is a master marketer and branding. In that Mentor, East Lake, Ohio, you cannot miss Don's trucks with the giant worm on it, and how many lawn signs he must have on some of these streets he treats. So, Don, I want to welcome you. Thank you for celebrating this day with us.
Thank you so much, Steve, and first and foremost, congratulations, both you and Christine, on this project. I'm so proud of you. Thrilled to be part of it. Thank you very much for that.
So, Don, my question is, why did you start working with Christine? Where were you at when that happened in your business?
Wow. I was trying to build a budget, and every time I did it, the spreadsheet ended up being 3 feet wide and 4 feet long, and you just couldn't even read it. And I thought, there has to be a better way. I had looked, and man, I just was struggling so hard. And then I met Christine, and I immediately was pleased with her structured thought process. She listened. I mean, she really listened. She asked questions, and like a lot of us, I thought that I already had all the answers, and as it turns out, I didn't even know what the questions were. You know, I started my business when I was a kid, and the reason I started it was because my mom couldn't pay the electric bill. And as it grew, I thought, like you mentioned earlier, Steve, that if we knew how to make grass green or which side of the bushes to plant right side up, that people would beat a path to our door. I remember learning how it didn't work that way. And a profound lesson was a woman from the IRS showed up in my driveway and said, since you didn't pay your 941s, we're imposing a 100% penalty. I don't know how much money that was. It was a lot of money. There was no bank that was going to give me that much money. We paid her weekly, and in the end, I remember selling a truck, and I think the truck sold for like $12,000, and they took the money to this big building downtown Cleveland and found that lady and handed it to her, and she came out of the back room with a receipt showing a zero balance. I don't think the IRS is in the business of doing favors, but I'm sure she did something that day. I promised myself after that I would never allow myself, my fate, my family's fate, to be controlled by somebody else ever again. It wasn't long after that I found Christine, and when you, Christine, and you, Steve, started talking about partnering, I got so excited that Christine's structured personality combined with Steve's creative nature was going to produce a teaching, an avenue, a way for so many people, if they'll listen, to protect themselves, and maybe more importantly, their families, the innocent victims, from going through some of the silly mistakes that I made over a long time. So that's what I'm excited about. You guys and the team that you've put together are the best qualified of all the people that I could imagine to provide this curriculum to those that want it. It's a lifelong dream for me. So when I say thank you, I mean it from there.
And Don, I have to say, you were just a pleasure to work with, and was never afraid to present me with a challenge. So, it's whenever there was something that you brought to the table and I presented a solution, you checked it, and then you checked it twice, and you checked it one more time. So, we made sure in working with Don that the tools that we were building and, the methodologies in this industry, were completely solid. So I appreciate the challenge.
You took what people say, oh boy, in the green industry. So you guys are landscape. So you sit on lawn chairs and drink beer all winter, huh? So Christine took that, identified the difference in the business models in Northeastern Connecticut. Steve's company plows snow and they build patios and do hardscape work. In Cleveland, Ohio, we shut down. In the South, in the wintertime. In the South, companies continue working all year round, and in the Southwest, it's different yet. Christine is the only one that I found that stopped and listened so that she understood the difference in these business models, the complete opposite of sitting on a lawn chair and drinking beer. And then with Steve's help, put together curriculum that'll identify kind of a multi-tiered track for these guys to grow their businesses. After all this time of being the answer guy, I have to admit I wasn't always ready to hear Christine's answers, and she threatened me with a wet noodle lashing one time. And by golly, when she said that, I thought, man, she's not kidding, and I'm going to follow those directions. But so I needed my hand held in implementing the profit first process. And in just a few minutes before this meeting, I did the allocations and then the winter allocations. And man, I don't have to worry that in the next 3 months of not producing one dime of income, that all of our overhead, our payroll will be met. I'll do it without touching a single penny of prepaid dollars, which come in this business. There's sufficient cash to address economic anomalies that some people may be seeing right now without fear. I get to sleep at night. So, guys, thank you so much for this.
Thank you for sharing that, Don. I don't know, it can't just be in the lawn care and landscape business, but when you're a business owner, you think you're the only one that is struggling. You feel like Everybody else has the answer but you. And so you just work longer hours and take more risk and put your family at risk. But really, almost all small businesses are struggling, and especially in the lawn care and landscape industry. And there's lots of people out in the lawn care and landscape industry that are full of advice without ever listening to the person, the guy who needs the help. They're just broad brushing stuff. So Christine developing the business models based on where you're located in the country, and then your service mix, whether you're a one-trick pony offering like just irrigation or just lawn applications, or a three-ring circus like my business is where we do everything. You know, it's such a unique approach, not only in the green industry but in all business books, to really dial in and focus and pay attention to where you are in the country and what your business is about. And thank you for acknowledging that and recognizing that, Don, because it's just such a unique thing. Don, I've known you for so long. We've kind of like our second grow up kind of was our maturity, I'll say, was together over the past 15 years. How has your life really been impacted and changed since you started becoming more aware of the finances and implementing profit first?
So I know what a balance sheet is now. I know where my gross profit margin should be. We've implemented KPIs, and this is an ongoing process. I have employees that I don't have to spend the entire weekend wondering whether they're going to show up on Monday. In fact, I don't think about it at all, except in some supportive manner. Halfway through this past summer, we bought a camper and then spent 3 weeks in Long Island with my stepdaughter as she bought a new house. And you know what's cool about that? It's not like we were on the beach drinking drinks with stuff in, umbrellas in them. But while I was gone, completely absent from my company, there was a little army worm that decided to hop on the jet stream and come up here to Cleveland, Ohio, and take out some 800 of my 2,700 lawns. And my team planned and executed a solution to that problem entirely in my absence. So what I'm learning is how to create a business that's not dependent on me taking every action in it, making every decision. When you do that, you're enabling your people not to perform or to remain dependent on you. So creating a sustainable business with a vault is critical. I mean, again, it makes it so I could sleep at night. And
Sleep is important. Sleep is important. Don, if there's one thing you would like to kind of share with us, is there one thing you would like to kind of share that I didn't ask?
So I think if you're going to do this, maybe for the students out there, take it seriously. Let Christine and Steve hold your hand. Embrace Green Profit Academy. I'm thrilled about the book. In fact, I've already ordered a whole bunch, and I'm going to share them with everyone I know. And Green Profit Academy is the hand-holding. It's the accountability arm of this book, and I can't think of two better people. So if you're going to be in business, you better be the best at what you do from a craft standpoint. And by golly, for the sake of your spouses and children and your employees, let professionals help you to administer it. And Profit First is the bomb.
Don, thank you so much for joining us today. The chats are, hey, I didn't know Don was such a likable guy. I think people take you're so serious because you take your business and your and what you do so serious. People said, thank you for sharing the story. Thank you for sharing such a personal story. And Don, thank you so much for joining us today and sharing your story and celebrating the book launch with us.
My pleasure. Thanks so much for inviting me.
Thank you, Don.